I love you. Welcome back to the Couch Potatoes, to another lovely episode of the Disney Playlist, and happy post-Christmas 2022.
Right.
This is
the day
I'm
after
coming
Christmas.
back to you from a long drive, baby.
Oh yeah, we're trying for a quick turnaround on this one, but I don't work today, so I'm gonna try to get it out today, day after Christmas. But we're also recording the day after Christmas. Oh my god,
man. That's crazy.
Well, I can do it.
That'll be the fastest we'll ever have an episode put up.
I could do it because if we do it good, then I only have to listen to like a half an hour of something, and then
that's right.
Put it on the internet.
Well, if we're in speedball mode. Let's get it going, baby. Let's do this shit.
Oh shit! I said 4 times in the first minute.
Let's quickly get the ad portion of the job out of the way. Welcome, everybody. This is, of course, Green and Faceless.
Oh.
I don't even know if I said I am the Green Traveler from Porsche.
You did it. Oops. And I am the Faceless Leod, and this is Green and Faceless on the couch. No, we're not. I'm not cutting anything. This is Speedball.
Shit. I was going to say, you could cut it out so I didn't steal your gig. I'm sorry, man.
It's okay.
But what I was going to say is being Green and Faceless, if you like this episode, if you're enjoying the Disney playlist, hints at the future, we might be doing Studio Ghibli somewhere along the line, or other ideas. And you can obviously always leave us ideas in comments. You can talk to us however you need to through email or whatever. But you can also go down to patreon.com/greenandfaceless and check out our subscription tiers. It really helps us out, and we appreciate each and every one of you for doing so.
Keeps the show going, helps us pay for streaming services and movie tickets, rentals, that kind of thing.
Yeah. It gives you a little bit of authority over us.
Yeah,
a little bit of
it does.
Hearsay.
We very soon here will have both of our Patreon things coming up. We have an episode every month called The Potato Pick that is recommended and voted upon by our Patreon patrons. And we also have Bangers and Hash, but that is exclusively on Patreon. So there you go. You know everything you need to know about Patreon. And now we can actually do a movie review.
A Pocahontas.
A Pocahontas.
A Pocahontas. I'm sorry, Pocahontas, yeah. I meant to say of Pocahontas, but my whole dyslexic brain, after 3 hours of numb driving, mixed it all up into one.
Yeah, you drove back today, right?
I drove back today.
All right.
And
how are the roads?
Roads aren't too awful. The country roads could use some TLC.
Yeah.
But that's to be expected,
Yeah. There was
for those the highway's all taken care of.
On the other side of the world that listen, we had
make sure you have a way to
polar vortex thing going on here in all across the Midwest, the US pretty much. And
it was dumb. We went from 40 degrees to negative 20, and then later on this week we'll be right back up to 50, I think.
Yeah. It was pretty nuts, the dog would not poop outside.
No, of course not, man. That shit's too cool.
My dog didn't poop inside either, but I was worried about them.
My dog literally ran out there and just laid down in the snow and started rolling, and I'm like, what are you doing? It's negative 20. Like, she was out there for a solid 10 minutes. I was trying to get her in the whole time, so don't be reporting me to PETA or shit.
Right.
I was trying to be a good owner, but she refused to come inside, and when she finally did, she had like a tiny bead of blood on her paw, and I was just like, what the fuck, dog? Like, how do you not realize you're freezing? Why do you love the cold this much?
Oh, God.
She's not my child. She is not my child.
Huskies, man. Huskies.
I know. It's ridiculous. It's just ridiculous.
Yeah, Garlic's got that
negative
short
20.
fur, that short hair, rather. And she's like, fuck this. Why are we out here? We bought her booties and everything.
Like, that's the problem, is Zelda's got all of it, but she still has a very bare belly. Like, her belly is still pretty vulnerable, but she just loves to, like, go right into the snow with it. And I'm just like, stop it. Like, I gotta pay for this later when you need like issues and surgery and stuff.
So she's got like, basically she's got the husky brain. And she's got the other breeds in body.
Yeah, the Australian Shepherd belly. That's all she got from it. She got the Australian Shepherd belly and the height. That was it. And she got the Shiba Inu tail. Yeah. Everything else is all husky.
All husky. Well, you mentioned Pocahontas. So Pocahontas was actually a nickname in the real life historical woman. Is just a nickname, which meant playful one. And her name was Amunute. And
I like that too.
In the culture, it's the Powhatan nation. Mm-hmm. They have more private names as well. So her intimate name was Moto Aka.
Huh.
Yeah. But we'll call her Pocahontas because we're talking about the Disney version and they only gave her the one name. But anyways, I did some research. I'm ready.
You did the deep research into Pocahontas. I did a tiny bit of research into the making of it. There's not really much to say on the making of it because it's the guy who directed Rescuers Down Under. They brought him back for this. He wanted to do a Swan Song or something. He wanted to make an adaptation of Swan Song, but that was denied by other production companies. And then eventually, I guess he wanted to do like an American West movie. And from there he saw a book on Pocahontas and was like, oh, this would be interesting. And so that's basically all he did. And then they just messed all the history up and threw Mel Gibson into the mix and called it a good day.
So you've heard us talk a lot during this playlist about these placards. These placards that come up at the beginning of the Disney movie. Yeah.
And you were supposed to be paying attention because I didn't remember seeing a placard.
There wasn't one.
Oh my god.
There was not one for Pocahontas. Now, all right.
What the hell, Disney?
I know. So, really, I think the placard, it basically says, hey, some of the depictions of people of different cultures and races are inappropriate, hateful, and misrepresentation. Well, this is not historically accurate in any which way at all. So is that not misrepresentation? It's misrepresentation of the truth, if anything.
Plus, I know, having read like books written by Native Americans or the indigenous American people. Yeah. Having read books, I know that there are different thoughts on whether they should be called Native Americans or Forgive Me Indians.
Yeah.
And this movie definitely leans hard into the I word. And I know there are many. Well,
they
Native
also
American
use
tribes
other
that
slurs too.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. There's a whole song about. I know that the Native American tribe also sings part of the song, but like, there's a whole song about savages.
Yes.
Like,
yeah. It's the one that really hits in your head too.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. So I guess we're going to start up with what we think is problematic about this film, since that's what's kind of under our butt.
But not leading with a placard.
Yeah, not leading with the placard, I think, was a brave move. But I think it's because of what's at the heart of the movie. What's at the heart of the movie is the idea of coexistence, tolerance, and accepting people's differences. However,
and then all of that message comes from the great and wonderful Mel Gibson, who we know his history on that message.
Yeah,
I think he's done some atoning, and I know that there are some who forgive him, and then coming back to because I've only seen Pocahontas once when I was a kid. Sure. We did not watch it that much, and coming back to it, the only thing I remember was that it was Mel Gibson. I was like, oh yeah. This is a really, really weirdly tainted message since it's coming from Mel Gibson.
Yeah. So Mel Gibson, by the way, is John Smith.
Yes.
And so the two well-known characters of this story, this historical story, are John Smith and Pocahontas. So in the real life story, I'm going to start there, I think. Pocahontas is 11, and John Smith comes to and meets with the chief of the tribe. He's known as Chief Powhatan, which is also the name of the nation. He has another name too. I don't quite remember that one, but basically he is the great chief. He is the chief of like 30 plus tribes, and Pocahontas is his favorite daughter. And when he comes, being John Smith comes, his father has him, taken in, bound, and then they stack 2 giant rocks on top of each other. His head is forced onto the rocks, John Smith's head, and then Chief Powhatan goes to strike him with his club, and then Pocahontas puts her head in between John Smith and the club. Oh. So that part of the story is what happened according to John Smith. So there's never been a version of this story from Pocahontas. There are no writings from Pocahontas.
She married another guy.
What she did eventually move. I say it that way because I don't know if she was forced or not. I didn't read past the events of what actually happened in the Disney movie here. But Pocahontas stops. So John Smith sees Pocahontas as his savior, and from there the chief adopts John Smith into the tribe as his son. And then John goes back to Jamestown, and in the following year or the years to come, there's this trade alliance built between the Powhatans and Jamestown for food. But the English, they need more food than the Powhatans can provide, and there's been a drought. So things do start to turn bad because the English are demanding more and more food, and Powhatan is like, we don't have it. And so he tells all his people to stop trading with the English, and finally, like after all these threats and stuff, Powhatan is like, all right, if John Smith is sent to trade with me and brings these X amount of things, he wanted swords, guns, hens, a grindstone, because that was, newer technology to them, and something else. I can't remember. He said he would fill John Smith's ship with corn to take back to the English colony, but that would be the trade to get them through, and then they can plant their own corn.
Hardball.
Yeah.
I like it.
Anyhow, John Smith gets stuck along the way, and then so I think his tardiness kind of soured Powhatan's view of him a little bit. So negotiations went rather sour, and so John Smith was asked to leave. Eventually, Powhatan moves his tribe's nation from where it is to further more inland to get more separation from the English. And John Smith does suffer from a gunpowder wound and has to go back to England. And Pocahontas and Powhatan are told that he dies. I'm sorry, I mistold the story a little bit. Pocahontas tells John Smith that her father is angry and most likely plans to kill him. So he leaves before that can happen. But anyhow.
But she's still 11.
She's still 11. Yeah, well, or maybe 12 or 13 by this point. I don't know how long the story spans.
Yeah.
It's over a few seasons at the very least. But John Smith does go back to England, and Pocahontas and Powhatan are told that he's dead. And that's kind of where our story goes. It kind of cuts off is John Smith returning to England because he got shot. Now there's a lot of the drama is just completely different than what actually happens.
Right.
Yeah. So, I mean, you could see where they could take that story and twist it into this story, but there is no real life romance between Pocahontas and John Smith.
Yeah. And yeah, they definitely, that's one of the things that they definitely went crazy with. That was the biggest thing. Like, because they make Pocahontas, I don't know what, late teens, early 20s, like, you know, she's much older, which is,
yeah,
you know,
she's of marrying age for the century, for sure.
Yeah, which is good. But like also, John Smith is working underneath the orders of Governor Ratcliffe or something like that.
Yeah.
Is his name Radcliffe?
I think so. I didn't.
Yeah.
Let's look. I'm pretty sure it is Lord Rat. Oh no, he's not Lord. He's not a lord. He's just a nobleman.
Governor. He's a governor.
Yeah.
Or he becomes governor, at least. Yeah, here he's voiced by David Ogden Stiers, who, again, for like the third or fourth time now, I'm always surprised by Charles Emerson Winchester III from MASH, constantly popping up in Disney films. Yes. I never knew that. It's so fascinating to me. And he's good as Governor Ratcliffe.
Really funny, because he also voices Wiggins, who's Governor Ratcliffe's underling. And there's like this I
didn't know that
joke that kind of runs throughout the movie where Ratcliffe says, Wiggins does something stupid as fuck, and Ratcliffe is like, and he came so highly recommended. And then when at the end, when Ratcliffe is foiled and whatever, Wiggins is off by himself with Percy, which is Ratcliffe's dog, and he's like, and it came so highly recommended. It's funny that that they're like just completely different characters, so it's really funny that the same person.
I did not know that he did both voices. That is hilarious.
Oh, and Jim Cummings did Powhatan.
Yeah, the singing voice.
Oh, the singing voice. God damn it.
And Russell Means. Yeah, Russell Means was the speaking voice.
Okay, I was gonna say
John Cummings. That is one thing of
Jim Cummings,
right? That is one of the nicer things about this movie too. Is I do believe they cast Native American. Yeah, because Irene Bedard is. Well, let me make sure. Yeah. She's of a Alaskan tribe.
Okay.
An Alaskan nation. I can't pronounce that. Inupiat?
Where is this for Russell? I'm sorry.
No, that's Irene Bedard. She of the Alaskan Inupiat, Alaskan natives. And Russell Means, I see the Lakota. Yes. Oglala Lakota. So yeah, that is one of the nicer things about this movie too, is it does seem that they tried to hire Native American voices for their cast. They'd had different singing voices, which is, you know, that's probably an actor thing. Maybe that Irene Bedard and Russell Means were like, yeah, we don't want to sing.
or they let him sing for a little bit and they're like, yeah, we could get better singers.
Yeah, we can do a little better. But yeah, I do like them. I mean, Mel Gibson, honestly, as the voice of John Smith, he is a good voice.
Yeah.
Like, it is a good white man voice. Like, that is Mel Gibson, so it's nice.
Good job. You did it.
Yep, you did it. John Kassir plays Pocahontas' pet raccoon, Miko.
Yeah.
I wonder if we know John Kassir from anything. Reefer Madness.
Okay.
Love it. Okay.
Gotcha.
I do recognize him.
Danny Mann plays Percy, the dog I mentioned, who is this pampered little bulldog.
Yeah. That's not Frank Welker. That's sad.
Yeah.
But the big name, the one that surprised me, because, I was watching the cast list and I was like, yep, Mel Gibson. That's what I thought. And then a name popped up that I was like, what? Christian Bale. Yeah. Christian Bale's in this, and I did not know that. Oh my God, he plays Thomas, a young soldier fight underneath John Smith.
Well, he's a settler, anyways.
Settler, yeah. And he is kind of like, Mel Gibson's John Smith is like good-natured, heartwarming individual. He doesn't see the Native. I mean, he refers to the Native Americans with slurs. But he does it purely out of habit exactly. It's just a habit out of who he surrounds himself with. But like he doesn't see them in the same light as them. He's more open, more willing to converse and to get to know them.
Yeah. Yeah. He sees
because they know the land.
See people as people a little bit more than the rest of the Englishmen do. The other Englishmen definitely have the perception of they are other, and they want to kick us off this land that is rightfully ours to take. But even though it's theirs,
and Thomas is like the fence character. He's the character who he is very much like the rest of the settlers and conquerors.
But he looks up to John Smith a lot.
Exactly. Yeah, and he has a more open mind. He's able to be, I don't want to say persuade or convince,
young.
But like
he's young and
he's able to have his mind open.
Yeah,
exactly. I would say he's not really open minded, but he's able to have his mind open.
Sure,
like he's pretty closed off with the rest of the because he sees the Native Americans in the same light as pretty much the rest of the settlers, but because of how John Smith acts, he's willing to think about it. He doesn't respond in kind at first. There are definite moments where he pulls a gun, I'll say. For sure. Causes some pretty bad tension. Who's the not to spoil that moment? Who is
Kakuum?
What's his name? Kakuum.
Yeah, that's James.
By James Applemont.
Go ahead.
Fall. James Applemont Fall.
Yeah, and so Kakuum is set up to marry Pocahontas by Chief Powhatan. And anyhow, Pocahontas is like, that's like the most serious man in the nation, Dad. Why are you going to do that to me?
And she's like, I'm fun and free-spirited, and I dive off cliffs 1,000 feet into water.
My name literally means playful one. What are you doing?
Don't do this to me. Come on.
So she runs off to Grandmother Willow to complain about it.
Oh, yeah. That's one of my... honestly, I think as a kid, that was one of my... my Grandmother Willow might be what turned me off as a kid.
Really?
Because I think she scared me.
Oh, okay.
More than anything.
I can see that. It's Linda Hunt, by the way, who...
Yes, thank you.
She's just a character as a person. Anyways.
Oh, I do know her.
Yeah, of course you
do.
I
know her. Yeah.
I can't... I mean, she's in a lot of sci-fi stuff, but she's also famous for NCIS now, and also The Incredibles modeled a character after her.
That's what I was gonna say. I was like,
Edna is not played by Linda Hunt.
I didn't want to say that, but at the same time, that's what I was thinking.
Anyhow, Grandmother Willow to me was always just like this wise, mythical character in the that Pocahontas can.
I like it more as an adult. I do. Yeah. It's just as a kid, she was. I don't know. There's something creepy about her. All of her scenes are dark. She's very loud and quite often immediately angry. Like, and I know it's just a very funny, like, grandmother trait, you know, to be like, silence! Yeah. You know, and everybody's like, oh! You know, I get it. But, like, as a kid, I was just like, oh my god, that tree just barked, and everybody got scared.
Barked.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you. I was like, I hope you noticed.
So, yeah, she goes to him and also at some point Pocahontas, we're playing the pronoun game here. Pocahontas goes to Grandmother Willow and at some points brings John Smith there as well, and some kind of magic happens and they can all speak English and Algonquian. Oh, which is the language that the Powhatans spoke.
I do also love... I feel like John Smith's initial reaction to Grandmother Willow was my reaction as a child. Like, because he's immediately... Yeah. Once he can see the tree, because it takes him a while to see the spirit in the tree. Mm-hmm. Because it's like, to us, like, to Pocahontas, really, you see a literal face in the tree that can talk. But for him, has to emerge from the tree. Like, he has to, like, I don't remember what he has to do. Like, he's just got to believe or whatever. But, like, once he does, she just, like, emerges there, and it's just like, oh my god.
Yeah, there's definitely some computer assistance in that transition.
It's decent animation.
It's pretty cool.
Yeah. I don't like the animation as much as the last few Renaissance films we've watched.
I can agree with
that.
But
it's still good animation. It's just, it kind of, like, especially in the faces. I feel like there's a lot less work put into the faces in this one.
Yeah, you mean the fact that Pocahontas doesn't have a nose in most of the frames?
Literally, she's like 5 lines. That's it.
Yeah,
like that's her whole face. Her whole face is just 5 lines. It's weird.
Yeah, it is super weird. Yeah, she's like, from a distance, she straight up just has like 2 slits, like what you look like in that drawing that I made of you.
Exactly.
Yeah. It's
crazy, man.
It is.
You saying Disney ripped you off?
I think Disney ripped off your look. No. So, I gotta say that I do like the animation a lot more during Paint with All the Colors of the Wind. I think that sequence,
that's fair,
in the film is very interesting. It's a bit of a montage, which I know you're not super into that, but that's what Disney does during its music pieces, pretty much.
That honestly might be why I don't remember it that well, because I had to listen to it and I was like, oh, right, I do remember this song. Like, I'm sorry, I know this is going to bother a lot of people. I know there's a lot of Pocahontas fans out there. This movie is mostly forgettable to me. Like, the romance is very dry. It's a love at first sight kind of thing, which can work. I can enjoy those kind of romances, but I don't like it here. It feels very wrong. And, like, it's very weird and off-putting. I like the message behind it. Like, the idea behind it is good, of finding a unity between strangers. Like, I like that idea, but given the history of actual things and events, like, this whole story feels off.
Yeah.
But, crap, where was I going from the very beginning? What was the...
I don't know. I mentioned the sequence of All the Colors of the Wind, and I thought maybe you would want to talk about... Yeah.
Yeah. The music's mostly forgettable for me, and for whatever reason, I couldn't remember Colors of the Wind. Like, I had to go back and re-listen to it and be like, oh, yeah, this song. And it might honestly have been because it was in a montage scene. That's why I don't remember it.
It might be true.
I don't know why I hate montage scenes, because like I feel like there's just a better way. They have their use. I know they have their use.
This is a very artful montage. It is almost a collage kind of. It's basically they step out of the movie world just a little bit and make a music video. Which you could argue happens with most Disney songs, but they're usually traveling from one place to another, not necessarily a montage. Right. And, but, they go and they run with animals and they catch eagles on their arms, and you know, it's just pretty. It you know, not necessarily necessary for the plot of the movie, but it has everything that the movie is trying to say wrapped up in that song.
Yeah. And that's good. Like, yeah. I do like it now. Like, once I re-listened to it, I was like, yeah, I do remember this. I do like it. But none of them are like bops to me. Yeah. I don't know if the kids still say bops.
I don't know. Like, I've been saying it.
Yeah, good. I still say it. We'll keep it alive until we're 80.
Yeah.
But, like, just like, that's sick.
That's sick, man. Wicked.
We'll keep that alive forever. I can't remember. I said something the other day that one of the younger kids looked at me and he's like, what the fuck did you just say? And he's like, what are you, 40? And I was like, no, I'm almost 30. Thank you. Dick. But like, yeah, a lot of this movie is just it's gone for me.
Is that your closing statement? It's gone for you?
No. I hit another brain pause where my brain was just like, I don't remember what I was talking about. So
I don't know. I thought you were gonna bring up Once Around the River Bend.
Thank you. That's probably what I was trying to do. Oh my god, a long drive. Remember, people, yes. Long drive. I'm doing okay.
Good.
I'm having a stroke. It's okay. Burnt toast.
Oh no.
But like, yeah, once Around the River Bend, like, listening to that song, I know a lot of people love it, and I know it's one of the more popular songs from this film. I could not stand it listening to it. I have this thing called misophonia, which is like certain discordant sounds or just sounds in general just irritate the fuck out of me. It's like if I'm sitting at a dinner table and people are chewing with their mouth open, I get very irrationally irritated to the point where I will literally just leave the room and just go be by myself for a while and eat the rest of my meal. Like, it bothers me. Mm-hmm. I can't stand certain sounds like that. Blake knows this because he had to live with me for a while. Yeah. And when you eat, your jaw is like constantly breaking.
Help it.
and I had to mention it at least 1,000 times every single day whenever we would hang out together. I'd be like, "What's happening with your jaw, bud? Like, are you eating glass? Like,
like my mouth is closed."
I know, yeah, that's true. But it's just your whole jaw is just. It's like, what's happening there? But no, it's. And that's the problem with Just Around the River Bend is the tempo. I'm not a musician. Mm-hmm. Okay, like I don't speak well with musical terms. I'm not well versed musically. I know what I like, and that's great. Mm-hmm. And what I like is like Rush, and Rush changes tempo a lot. They have a lot of different changing time signatures, but how they do it is so beautiful to me. I love it because it's not just like an abrupt halt. It's a nice transition into it. Whereas with Just Around the River Bend, for me, listening to that song, I kept getting lost in the tempo because it would be so fast at first, and then it would hit like a brick wall, and she was slowing down into one long, loud note that she's holding for a while, and then she's going back fast again, and everything, and I'm just like, I just could not focus in that song. It was bothering me so much, and I've tried to listen to it like 3 more times because I'm just like, maybe I was in a bad, like, maybe I just wasn't focused. Maybe I was like, maybe I was very irritated by something. So I've tried to re-listen to it, and each time I can only make it like a minute in before I'm like, no, I can't. Yeah. That song's tempo is so weird to me.
Because you mentioned it before I had rewatched Pocahontas, and so I was listening for it, and I can definitely hear where you're coming from, and it must be the misophonia because
it might be
because the way you speak about it to the average person, it's going to be extremely exaggerated for them.
It's very nitpicky. It very much is. No, every time I listen to it, I just can't with it, like, because it's. I don't know what it is. It might just be because it starts off very fast, so it makes me immediately feel anxious.
That could be
because it's like It's not as fast as rap, and I do listen to a lot of rap, like, so it's like I'm not put off by speed vocals, speedy vocals, but I don't know, once it hits that wall and she hits the chorus, then it's like I just immediately feel like I'm on a roller coaster. I'm just like, whoa, no, like I don't know what's going on. Like I can't. It might be the misophonia. Like it does have certain flares, and I think this song is one of them. Like,
yeah, so
it's weird.
I get where you're coming from, like I said, but I can respect what they're trying to do with this song because it's about a river. She's literally traveling down a river in a canoe. A river does, have rapid spots and slow spots. And
it ebbs and flows.
It ebbs and flows, exactly. So I thought that that's what they were trying to mimic with this song, and I think it works to an extent. Yeah. But it's still not the best piece of music in the movie. That I think what will live on is The Colors of the Wind. I know you say it's not super memorable for you. And unfortunately,
it's a good song,
the catchiest song is entitled Savages. And
that's the only one that I can remember. Think it's got that beat.
What the big problem with the song is that to the parents watching it, it's very obviously a satire of how people felt a couple hundred years ago.
Right.
But to a child who doesn't understand sardonic, anything.
Yep. You're going to get a kid. You're going to get a kid prancing around the living room screaming "Savages, savages."
Yeah, exactly. And
you're just going to be like face palming the whole time.
Yeah.
Just like, no.
Like, I think, if you can manage to, I think really what it is this movie is more for older kids. If you want to get them that message of like tolerance and, coexistence and everything, that's all well and good. That message is in here. And I think that maybe Disney was going for like an alt history vibe. But it's not very evident. It feels more like American propaganda. Like
it really does present itself as the story, the true story.
Yeah, like, it does.
Yeah,
I think that needs to be a little bit more evident. I think it could still use that placard despite the positive message. But I 100%. I still give it a full face because I have a nostalgic enjoyment from it. And I think that there's a valuable message in the movie, even though there are problematic parts of it.
That's good. I give it 2.5 stars. Personally, I was going to give it 2 stars, but I felt that was too harsh. Because it's just, it's still a good movie. It really is. Like, there are good intents. The animation is fine. I think the animal animation is much better than the human animation.
I can agree.
Like there's a hummingbird. The actual Frank Welker role is Flit the hummingbird.
Yeah.
It's an amazing thing. I love it. I love that man. Frank Welker's the god. But like the animations for the hummingbird and for what was the raccoon's name again? I already forgot it.
Fuck.
Miko,
yeah.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Okay. Miko and Flit their animation's great, and their comedy duo is enjoyable. That's really where the younger kids will enjoy,
right?
Because I feel like another problem I had with this movie was that's right. And I always forget about the dog. Poor pug.
He's definitely the third wheel between the two of them.
Right. Percy does get a very hilarious stuck at a stump horror movie moment. I do like that. Yeah. That was really cool. He's walking around with a stump on his head, and it's really funny. But like the animation for the animals is really good, and I enjoy the humor that was attempted with them. But the problem comes in the tone, because they'll be having a very serious conversation, the adults will, the humans will, that is. And then it'll just cut to a raccoon and a hummingbird doing the silliest shit. And it's like, that's adorable. They're literally talking about slaughter over there, though. Like, like, I get that, like, we want to relax the moment here. but it makes for a really weird tone when you're trying to watch it as at least as an adult. Right. As a kid, this movie did not stick with me. Me and my brother did not watch this that much. I only remember watching it once, but it was not a repeat in our household because it didn't grab us, you know? Yeah.
And if they wanted to be really historically accurate, well, one, she would be 11 and she wouldn't wear much of any clothes.
And it also doesn't need that romance aspect.
No, not at all.
You don't
and please need romance the children in the movies. I was just joking.
Yeah. Yes, please do. But like, you could easily still do Pocahontas as a child and John Smith as an adult.
Yeah,
and that's where this
that's still a great story.
Connection
doesn't need romance. It's still a good story. I agree with you. 100%.
Yeah, but no, we gotta have that. I believe that was a producer thing. I believe the production. One of the producers was like, it needs to have a good romance at the heart of it because we want another Beauty and the Beast. You know, we want something to be nominated for the best picture Oscar award again.
Yeah.
And they wanted that big romance thing to win over everybody. It's dumb. Here it is. It was studio chairman Jeffrey Katzenberg who wanted that. Who wanted a serious romantic epic like Beauty and the Beast. It's just dumb.
Yeah.
I don't need it.
Didn't need to happen.
Get the romance out of my kids' film.
Out of this one, anyways. Yeah. So, I think that's been the show.
That's it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Thanks for tuning in, guys and gals, and all of y'all in between. We love you, every one of you.
Every single one of you.
Yeah. I am the Green Traveler from Gorsh.
And I am the Faceless Leon, and you are just cute little couch potatoes. Oh, I love you so much. Oh,
boy. Show for spuds.
Oh, we got some more Disney movies coming your way on Mondays, so see you next time. Safe travels and good night. Green and Faceless on the Couch is a proud production of FictionWorks 19. Are you a fan of the show? Feel free to contact us at greenandfacelessfans@gmail.com or visit our Patreon page at patreon.com/greenandfaceless. Don't forget to comment, like, and subscribe, or rate us on Apple Podcasts. Thank you so much for listening.